spoke to Nas in 3 years. We did 80 songs in 3 years. Nigga.
Wow.
I haven't spoke to Nas.
You
know
guys
what
went
I
on a
mean?
run. How many albums?
We did 6 albums, 80 songs
I
in
still
3
can't
years.
believe you did that.
Six
Like,
albums.
Every single song on
when we
his
would go,
album that won a Grammy.
because Vlad,
King's
you remember we
Disease.
would go years like we can't get Nas to make an album. There would be like all the controversy about where's,
right.
you know.
I got to put this out here, right? Because can't do this interview without mentioning this.
Let's do it.
For a long time, I used to say that after Illmatic, Nas was the worst beat picker of all time.
Oh, you started that. You
I started that.
culture.
When you see that, it came from this guy.
Bloods on
Because I was just frustrated. I was frustrated album after album. He had his moments, but I felt like the magic from Illmatic, which is one of my favorite albums, period.
Yeah.
He couldn't quite match that after.
Do you think he stopped? Because with Illmatic, he had like the great producers, East Coast producers of that time.
Yeah.
Premier, Large Professor. Did you think he stopped like really collaborating producers and trusting producers? Like in a way, he finally probably did with you.
We did a lot of great work, but I don't see us working again. You know?
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Was there a reason why you're not working again?
I mean, it's a lot of reasons, you know what I mean? But it's something I just really don't want to dig too deep in because the shit is just like pretty deep, you know what I mean? But it's like, you know, respect to what we did get accomplished in 3 years.
And that's sad because I love the work that Hit-Boy and Nas did. Now, before I dig into the conversation itself, for those of y'all that don't know, this is Hit-Boy. Hit-Boy was a member of Kanye's Good Music imprint, and he's produced a lot of shit for a lot of dope people. And one day, Hit-Boy produced a beat for a song called Niggas in Paris. And from that point on, Hit-Boy was that nigga. If y'all don't remember how huge Niggas in Paris was, that was a huge, huge record. I don't care if you a Jay-Z fan or not. I don't care if you a Kanye fan or not. I don't care if you don't listen to their music. If you think that they are devil worshippers or whatever. Niggas in Paris was a very huge record, and Hit-Boy was responsible for that. So Hit-Boy just been working with all these different artists, producing all this stuff. And years ago, he started this collaborative series of work with Nas, legendary MC. I don't even have to explain to y'all who Nas is. If you don't know who Nas is, you need to go Wikipedia. Wake up, goddammit. Now, Nas has always been criticized for not having the best beat selection. No, Vlad did not start that. Niggas been saying that for years. We was saying that, not me personally, but we as in collectively throughout hip hop have been saying that well back into the 90s, even before Vlad was even a thought in these internet spaces. So Hit-Boy links up with Nas and they produce 3 albums, all called King's Disease, and 3 mixtape pre-albums called Magic. The first Magic, that was my shit. I loved the first Magic. Second one was cool. Third one I was kind of like, you know, whatever. King's Disease 1, I was like, it was cool, me personally. King Disease 2 was pretty dope. KD 3, that's my shit. That's my shit. I think King's Disease 3 is probably, if not my second favorite Nas album, my third favorite Nas album. And that's a close second. It might even, I might have to put it up there with Illmatic. That's how great it was, because it was like, yes, I'm finally hearing Nas on some premium production. Nas has always been criticized about his beat selection. This is not a lie. This is not a myth. He's worked with legendary producers, DJ Premier, Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nas has some legendary beats, but the production just be lacking. Matter of fact, damn near I say, I'm going to just go ahead and come out and say it, okay? Because I love DJ Premier, but I didn't know there was such thing as DJ Premier beats that I would consider whack. I never knew that existed on planet Earth until Nas came out with that tape that he just did with Primo. What was it called? I can't remember. Y'all look it up. But Nas and Premier just dropped something, and that beat selection, I was like, dog, are you serious? Primo actually has whack beats? I'm talking about, he did a New York State of Mind Part 3, And I was mad that you even called that New York State of Mind. You should have just called that something else and left that alone. Kind of like how they did How High 2. That shouldn't even been called How High 2. You should have just left the How High franchise alone. Matter of fact, don't even make it a franchise. Just leave the originals alone. Anyway, so this just goes into the whole thing about Nas's beat selection and some of the criticism that he's faced. And rightfully so, if I'm being completely honest. What he needs to do is he needs to link up with me and get some Crank Lucas production. That's what Nas needs to do. But let's just stick to this conversation right here, because I don't know what happened between the two. Maybe it was some creative differences. Maybe Nas started wanting Hit-Boy to make some whack beats. I don't know. But it's sad. But it's also, I think relationships run their course. I mean, like you said, 6 albums, 80 songs. That is a long. There's a lot of tandems of producers and artists that haven't even produced that much material, and we're talking about 6 albums and 80 songs within the last 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 years. It's probably been longer than that. Even if it's 6 years, this is 1 album per year. That'd be around COVID. Even if it's 7 years, like that's a lot of material that they did collaborate together and work on. So I think things run their course. I don't even know if Dr. Dre and 50 Cent got 80 songs together. You know what I'm saying? Because all those songs don't become hits. When we think about the tandems, we think about the hits that came out. You think about Timberland and Missy. They might not have 80 hits. You know what I'm saying? They probably got 200 songs that they worked on together, whether Missy was writing on a particular song and Timberland made the beat, but it ended up being, somebody else's song, or Missy might have did some co-production on the record, or whatever the case may be. So I don't look at it as a bad thing when, the producer-artist relationship dissolves. But I do have a question for those of y'all that is watching this. Do you think Nas is done? And when I say done, I'm talking about, first of all, where do you rank Nas with his production selection overall, just throughout his career? That's number one. If you think he's had good production selection, cool. If you don't, all right, whatever. If you do think that Hit-Boy kind of revived him as far as like picking better beats, and now that they're no longer working together, or Hit-Boy is saying that he doesn't think they're going to work together, do you think Nas is done? Do you think that there's any other producer besides Crank Lucas, hint, hint, clue, clue, that can help Nas get back on track? Because Nas is one of the most legendary. Listen, Nas is in a lot of people's top 5 and a lot of people's top 2. I take nothing away from Nas. That's why I hate having this conversation, because this is not something that we say about when we talk about the greatest artists. We don't talk about their beat selection. We talk about how dope they are. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments section about this conversation.